Hey everyone, welcome back. How's everyone doing tonight? Now, tonight I'd like to talk about this person you see on the screen here. And excuse the rain, you might be able to hear it in the background while I'm speaking, but it's the building I happen to be in right now. So, on the screen, you're going to see Michael Strahan, or should we say Michelle Strahan. I'm not sure on this. I'm not a professional at spotting these gender benders. I leave that to my brother Mag and his channels, or professionals such as Chinese Black and her channels as well. But if anybody knows of any videos that either one of those truthers have done on the NFL about uncovering some of these gender benders that we see in today's society, please let us know, because it would be interesting as hell to find out that because I used to love the NFL. I used to watch, I used to be distracted by it, I used to be consumed by it. Ever since I was a child, my father got me into it because that was his programmed pastime. That was his programmed distraction from the world that you're controlled in. And it became mine as well because I was programmed to like it as well. And I also liked college football as well. And I'm just curious from that standpoint, from that point of view, that somebody who used to be consumed by this, and I'm no longer consumed by sports at all. I don't watch sports. I'm not consumed by sports. My thoughts aren't consumed by sports because I know it's a distraction. It's a big distraction. And the people that they get to play these sports are programmed distractors. And I'd like to know if these are actually big ass bitches on the field hitting each other. It would change. It wouldn't surprise me a bit to find out that these are women playing football and hitting each other on the field, while you have men as cheerleaders on the side, on the sidelines in short skirts, while you got young, old, and middle-aged men in the stands gawking at these men in skirts doing their cheers. And it would not surprise me. But for now, we're going to call this one Michelle. And whatever it is, it can be. And please let me know, Chinese Black, if you happen to see this video. Let me know if this one, if Michael's a Michelle or Michelle's a Michael. Please let me know. Because for now, I'm just going to call it a Michelle. And we're going to see what Michelle has to say. And we know she's a Mason anyway. We know that she's been paid by the same money that enslaves and controls us. And in order for it to have a comfortable lifestyle off the backs of the people that it fools, it has to play its part to program the public's mind. And let's see what little Michelle has to say to us.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Strahan, and I just like you, having same conversation with my friends and family about what's going on, about the death of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, just continuously having the conversation.
Now, this Masonic one, you know, is not just like you or me, okay? No matter what race we are. It's trying to relate to the everyday person that's out there, having a conversation about what their mind is programmed with. Pay attention.
Over and over again that we continue to have too much. I don't get it, don't understand it, mad as hell about it, because we continue to have the same conversation
and that
much. I don't get it, don't understand it, mad as hell about it, continuously having the conversation over and over again that we continue to have too much. I don't get it, don't understand it, mad as hell about it, because...
Okay, the conversation he's talking about is racism, folks. And he doesn't get it, or she doesn't get it. Michelle does not get it, why we keep talking about racism. Well, Michelle, let's see. Why do you think we keep talking about racism? Let's see.
We continue to have the same conversation, and at the end of the day, there seems to be no resolution, no justice, no finish.
No resolution, no justice, no finish. No finish for the psyop they keep pulling on us, people. There's no finish. There's no end in sight. And there will never be. Because it's meant to be that way. They can't control your mind any other way. If they were to tell you the truth, there would be nothing to talk about, because this story would not exist.
I think that is the frustrating thing. It's very hard to understand as a black man why the color of your skin makes people scared of you. As they say, and I hear it all the time, not every cop is a bad cop. Not every black person is a bad person. Plain and simple. And I have a lot of cops who are my friends. I have cops who work for me. They are incredible people. We share, some of my best friends actually share tons of stories.
You see how he's talking. He has cops. He has cops that work for him. He has cops that are friends. But he's labeling people by the profession they are and not the people they are. You see what Michelle's doing? But it's getting you to program you to think that way as well. Program you to think of people as a profession rather than the people they are, that are just doing what they are enslaved to do for the money they're controlled by.
It's amazing. They're amazing people, but they're always in everything, these situations especially, there are people who make one entire profession, one group of people look bad. And as a black man in this country, a country that's supposed to be free, a country that's supposed to have your back, supposed to be your country you work so hard for and your families work so hard for, my father in the military, all these years serving this country, but not have the freedoms that you're fighting for others to have. Not having the respect you're fighting for others to have, but expected to give respect is the hardest part.
So, Michelle is telling you that he notices that black people, no matter if you're in the military or not, are made to give people respect, are asked to give people respect, and he feels that they're not getting respect in return. Okay, let's find out why. Tell us, Michelle.
And everyone, I would probably imagine being famous, being known. Does it help? Yeah, in some ways, it does. But a lot of times, somebody doesn't know you're famous. A week and a half ago, I'm in the car driving, nice car, just driving. I get pulled over, a cop pulls over for nothing. I'm not speeding, I'm in traffic, I'm nothing, just doing nothing but driving while black. And
now, Michelle is programming our minds, trying to program our minds, because if you know truth, then you know not to be programmed by this one. It's trying to program our minds. She is trying to program our minds to believe that police only target black people and pull them over for no reason, when that's not the case. I'm sorry. I am plainly not black, Michelle, but I have been pulled over for no reason whatsoever plenty of times. Plenty of times. They want to make the money and cycle the money they control each and every individual with in their court systems. That's what keeps enslaving you and me. But not this one, because it's eating from that system.
Comes up to my window, looks in, and goes, "Oh, Michael, I'm such a big fan. When I was a kid, I'd go trick-or-treating just to come by your house hoping to meet you. And what a way to meet me, by pulling me over for doing nothing."
Now, you see what this one is doing? There's no way in hell any of us can verify this so-called true story, okay? Which we know probably never happened, because we know this one's good at programming our minds with the things that divide us, such as race, which is what she is doing right now. Dividing us with race, insinuating that police only stop people of color, which we know is not true.
That's not the first time, many, many, many times over my years. But it's just little things like that, just agitate. But imagine if you're not famous. Imagine if it happened to you all the time. Imagine if you're getting pushed around and disrespected and talked to in a way that makes you feel subhuman. And to see...
Now, Michelle does not understand the ways of this world and the ways we are all programmed in this world. Now, I've done videos that describe that our loved ones are a part of the police department. Our friends and families are the ones that are that make the police officers that stop us, okay? Now, they have an obligation to their fraternity before they have an obligation to any of the population. And it's obvious, because the police are always callous for the most part. Every once in a while you run into a police officer that's genuinely respectful and courteous. But for the majority, they'll push their authority on you because they enjoy it. They enjoy having control over another person. And they feel superior because they may know they're in a fraternity that's above, or that programs their mind to think they're above the ones in society.
George Floyd died the way he died, with such a callous attitude towards his life, such disdain for the public who is begging you to let that man breathe. It angers me. Angers me.
Michelle is very angry, people. Listen to her distraught voice when she explains to us the details of the PSYOP. The PSYOP that's meant to instill division against our brothers and sisters because of the color of our skin. Look at the division Michelle's pushing upon all of us. Michelle, my belle. What else do you have for us in this programmed hell?
I get the protests. I understand the protests. I do not agree with the looting and the rioting because that's taking advantage of a situation.
She understands the protest. She gets the protest. You knew the protests were coming. Baby, you knew they were coming because they were scripted. It's from the same system you serve. Michelle, my belle. You got us living in this programmed hell.
Honoring George Floyd and all the others who we know of who have died senselessly at the hands of the police. I'm shocked and surprised we got to keep having these conversations over and over again. Over and over again. Every few months.
Michelle's shocked and surprised we have to have these conversations over again. Every few months. Well, my goodness, Michelle. You shouldn't be shocked. You work for the same system that gives us these damn events time and time again. I guess you think the public is too stupid to remember the last one y'all pulled on our minds. 'Cause you have them too frequently. Why don't you just stop the programming for a bit? Let your puppets relax a little bit so they can just get a little rest and relaxation. Then they can receive the next set of programming much better.
Every year or whatever, I feel like we're having these conversations over and over again, and it has to stop because people are human beings. We need to look and respect each other as a human being, as we would treat your family, expect them to be treated when they walk out the house.
Oh, see, Michelle finally gave you a little truth. We're human beings. We need to respect each other as human beings, yes. But your message is not promoting that. Your message is promoting division. Just because you sprinkle it with a little bit of goody good truth doesn't mean that you haven't programmed people's minds with 10 other things that aren't good for us.
You shouldn't have to worry that they're not going to come back, or they possibly won't come back. I mean, my son was put in the back of a cop car, and they walked the person by to look in the back to say if that him or not, because he looked like someone they said was Dominican who had robbed someone. Shouldn't happen.
There we go. More psyop with his family that cannot be proven. Or her family. Is your son even the right gender? We don't know with these gender benders. Frankly, I'm tired of being controlled by you people. You gender benders who don't believe in truth and try to manipulate society's minds while you live off their backs, while you live your high and mighty lifestyles. Yeah. Come on, Michelle.
Shouldn't happen, people. So am I pissed? Absolutely. But as a black man, if I show too much anger, then you're scared of me.
Look at that. He is inciting more division and hatred as a black man. If I show too much anger, then you'll be scared of me. Let me tell you, Michelle, you Masonic ones have been making people scared of men, not just black, but men, period. Okay? People act like they're scared of their life if they hear a man's voice raised. They're going to run for the hills because they're afraid something's not going to happen, no matter if you're black or white. So come on, Michelle. You guys aren't just programming racial division, you're programming all kinds of division. And look at her smiling the whole time.
Shouldn't be the case. Shouldn't be the case. And I hold on to hope. That's it. Hold on to hope.
Keep hoping.
My kids can grow up and be in a place that's better than the place that we're in right now. That's the only thing we can hope for. And if it doesn't change now, I don't know what's going to take to change it. Because now
Let me tell you, Michelle, the only change that needs to happen is we need to wake up to the bullshitters you really are. And the ways that you divide us with. If we can wake up to the truth of how you guys control our minds and our thoughts and our actions, then guess what? We will no longer need you or your system. And we can finally be free of your mind control.
power is not in the politicians. The power is not in some grand speech. The power is in the people. People make a change. We all know that.
Yeah.
So we need to stop depending, I feel, on others to change for us, and we got to get together and we got to make a change for ourselves in a positive way, in a peaceful way, if possible.
True. But not the way they
conversations, I think it's important. Continue to respect each other. That's important.
True.
And most of all,
but don't take what Michelle has to give you.
Just angry.
Angry.
Angry. Upset. Sad.
Angry, sad, scared, all the above.
And
well, Michelle, I'm angry too. I'm sad too. But I'm not scared of you. Look, baby. We need to get rid of people like you and all the other Masons who control us and the way we live. We need to take back the land that you have stolen from us so we can have our free resources for our children back. So we don't have to be enslaved in your system any longer. So we don't have to be controlled by your monetary system any longer. So we don't have to be controlled by your laws and constitution any longer. Is that the justice you're looking for? You're looking for justice inside the system that controls and enslaves the entire population on the earth? Michelle, you're looking for justice from the system that enslaves the entire population of the earth, not just blacks, not just whites, not just Hispanics. I have a question for you, Michelle. I'm not a believer in the country I was born in. I'm a believer in the land that was created for me. And I'm a believer in all the people that this land was created for. All my brothers and sisters of different races are my brothers and sisters. That's what I believe. You know why? Because we're all from the same creation. We're all from the same energy that created us. Just because we have different skin color and different attributes doesn't mean that we should be divided. All the animals created on this earth are different. But they seem to get along unless they're using each other as a food source. So come on, Michelle. Come on. Stop dividing the people. Tell me, if America is such a melting pot of nationalities and races, then why have blacks and Hispanics been programmed to live separate from the people in this melting pot? I believe that all brothers and sisters should be living together in peace and togetherness. But that doesn't mean we have to be controlled. We should be separate and independent, responsible for our own actions, and not blame it on other things, such as race, such as things that should never divide us. Tell me why black people have been divided ever since I was a child. They have their own neighborhoods. They call it the hood. They have their own program way of living in this culture that's supposed to be a melting pot for everyone. Tell me why you have programmed every black person to have their own ghetto in almost every major city in this country. Why are they programmed to separate and live in conditions that aren't the same as others? Why have we been allowing such division, Michelle, to go on when we claim to be a free society? Why do we separate races and then divide by those separations? Can you tell me, Michelle, why we continue to let this tomfoolery go along? Go on and go on? Please enlighten us with that answer, Michelle. I'm waiting. I have a feeling I'll continue to be waiting. The truth is, people, we shouldn't let their worlds or their ways or their cultures program us any longer. We should open our minds and be our own people, our own person, responsible for your own actions, and help others be the same. So you can be who you were meant to be and not who they guide you to be. These people, they're just leading you into more division, into more mind control. They want to live off your back and your children's backs. We've had enough of this shit already. I love you guys. Take care of yourself out there, okay?
There's some change.